years, 12 years, some of the stuff is plenty good enough for those people. They get out and live under the rules they make. Okay, and the amendment was it never made it to the ballot for November for the constitutional because it was shot down by kind of lack of interest, or they just kept it in committee. The clock ran out. They went, oh gosh, we didn't get to it, so can't do it. It's a way to kill it. These are your Republicans in the Texas legislature. Okay, they discussed allowing armed teachers in schools and giving special training. Spell check didn't pick that up. For the school protection. They did some progress on this. Some schools already have it, but they're trying to get more security in schools. You know? Drug testing is now required to receive jobless benefits. You go through a questionnaire and you have benefits. If something hits on the questionnaire, they make you go through drug testing to get your jobless benefits. Unfortunately, welfare recipients will not be drug tested. That was considered, what did I say it was? That was considered degrading to the poor welfare people because, after all, you know, they got a really rough road in life, and you're going to degrade them by asking them for a drug test to get something free. My question is, I've been out of town on holiday weekends, working 12-hour days in paper mills, chemical plants. You don't get in the door of a paper mill, chemical plant, or refinery until you take a drug test. You will take it, and they broke panel out front, and then they do another panel test, and it's a day later. They find you, they come get you, they drag you out of the site, they kick you out the door, and they don't care if your children eat or not. And I'm out of town working 12 hours on a holiday weekend in a paper mill in July, in August, out there, and they don't care about my kids. They don't worry if it's degrading to me. To be perk, what do they call that, perk marked, or frog marched, or perk march, what do they call whatever that thing is, you know, they drag you out there like that. They don't have no problem doing that. I've seen them do it. It's not pretty, they don't care. But it's too degrading for the people that get free stuff to do it. That's just my viewpoint. So your people in the Texas legislature did not have the guts to say, we want this. If you got issues, then we'll protect the children, but you're not getting anything. I'm not giving you money to do drugs. Jeez, what a novel concept. Okay, they did pass it to your budget. The only thing they got to do is pass the budget. That's the only thing they need to do. Is that right, Keith? That's it. They're only required to pass the budget. The rest of the stuff is extra. They did pass it to your budget. Spending, when you put it all together, everything is 26% higher than it was 2 years ago. It's a 2-year budget. Spending is 26% higher. Geez, I didn't think our economy was that much better. Okay. Simpson, your Representative David Simpson voted no on the budget. Eltai voted yes. He's the term limit guy that can't seem to remember if he wants to go term limit for his office or not. 1/3 of the House voted no. The vast majority were the conservative, Tea Party endorsed coalition. The rest of them voted yes for a 26% increase in spending. Okay, 2 senators in the Senate voted no. That's it. Got to do something about this. They voted to pass Senate Bill SJR1. It raised the rainy day fund for $4 billion. Right now it has about 8 or so. They're projecting it to go to 12. So it's, Did I say billion? It's billion. 4 billion in rainy day funds? Yes, I'm sorry, 4 billion. I missed it somewhere between my eyeballs and the screen, so thank you for that. $4 billion. Rainy day fund has about 12 by the end of this 2-year cycle if things go well. Oil and gas is stuffing the money into it. That's where it's coming from. This is if a hurricane comes in and wipes out something, a big earthquake comes in and wipes out something, it's an emergency fund, so we can rebuild Texas, bridges, cities, whatever we need, so we don't wait on the federal government to come and give us money with all the strings attached. That's what the rainy day fund is for. However, they rated it. They rated it and they didn't count that money towards the state budget. It's smoke and mirrors saying, I'm going to spend this money, but I'm not going to count it. It's like having money in one account, you spend the money and you don't count it against your budget and your family. This is the same kind of accounting that Washington, D.C. is so good at, and that's why we're so much in debt.
So does the 26% include the $4 billion or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, ignored the Texas Constitution by taking the money from a specialized fund and putting it in the general fund for this kind of water projects. Trying to get water, because they haven't done anything because they don't have the guts to do it. They can't seem to get it. It's budget busting, smoke and mirrors. You blame it on one person who runs the show, and that's Joseph Strauss. There's your blame on. You'll hear that name a lot. This is the kind of stuff, we don't have anything against Mr. Strauss. We're showing you what goes on and what the results are. You make your mind up whether you think it's good or not. Okay, spent $106 billion, biggest budget in Texas history. No substantial reforms. Zero-based budgeting. Those people have no concept of what zero-based budgeting is. Start off, you got to justify your money every year. You just don't get what you got last year plus a % increase. You can't do that. Things change. There's no constitutional spending limits or meaningful tax relief. There was some they threw out there just like chump change. But nothing meaningful. They didn't even touch redistricting. Didn't even touch it. That's what they're in special session for. There's no baseline money for future water projects like lakes, pipelines, and other type of water infrastructure. They couldn't do it. They couldn't find the money for the water and the lakes in the regular budget. They had to sit here and pull it out of your retirement fund. They boosted their own pensions. They found money to boost their own pensions. I don't mind paying people for doing a good job. I don't think that this deserves a bonus and a raise. Strauss has returned to the pledge card system. The pledge card system is, I want you to sign this card pledging that you will vote for me for Speaker at the next House, the next time we come in for the Senate, which will be, or the House, another year and a half. When we come in for the next 2-year cycle, I'm going to be back because I got all this money. I'm going to make sure I win re-election. You sign this pledge card that says you will vote for me. By gosh, I'm going to put your signature on this card. If you don't, I know who signed it and I know who didn't. If you signed it and you didn't, guess who gets the position on the new committee and all the other stuff? He does. Guess who I spend money on a challenger? You. Joseph Stalin used to do this kind of stuff. Fought Pole in Korea. Well, he shoots you, I guess. This is the kind of stuff that goes on. Do you really want this stuff? I guarantee you, I haven't talked to David Simpson, I guarantee you he did not sign a pledge card. He refused the last time in. He says, I want to talk to my people back in my district, and I want them to tell me what they feel. He's basically signing away your stuff when people do this pledge card. And this just smacks of corruption. Okay, next. This is George Bush talking to grade school kids. Okay, you remember George Bush, dummy, doofus, couldn't think straight, really just a retard. Here's Obama talking to the same kind of group of kids. Oh, look at this. I've got a seal, I've got a podium, I've got 3 speakers, I have teleprompters. I can't figure out what I'm going to talk to for kids in grade school. And most important, I've got a Secret Service guy in the back, and I'm sure there's 5 or 6 more because you never know when you're going to find one of them Bible-thumping, gun-toting Tea Party kids in 3rd grade. He might ask him a question like, where were you the night of Benghazi attack? They might just ask that. He might just have to tell him an answer. By gosh, that Secret Service guy will fry march that kid out of that room, and that's the end of that. There's the difference. And you don't see that in the press, do you? The doofus Bush goes there and talks about it. This guy's got to have teleprompter and all the other stuff. Interesting. How about scandals in D.C.? 4 deaths in Benghazi. I know I can't spell, but that's just my thing. Fast and Furious, I can't spell that one either. I was blowing through this when I was doing it. I figured if I got the words right, the spelling didn't matter. Okay? The IRS profiling conservative, religious, and even Jewish tax groups who want the 501c group, the tax-exempt status. Not just conservatives, religious groups, and people that are that support the Jews. They don't like Israel in the IRS, apparently. Wiretaps, AP News reporters, they wiretap their email accounts and their phone records. Fox News, the Washington correspondent, Rosen. They went after this guy, they called him a co-conspirator. This is like treason type stuff. They went after that, they tapped his parents' phone line. They denied, but guess what? They seek all kind of conversations from it. Okay? What would the lamestream media be doing if this was Reagan or Bush or either one, especially George Bush? What would they be saying? any one of these things, what would they be saying? They'd be saying they would be beside themselves. Incredible. The news media, when you really look at it, all these scandals, nothing's been said about them. They're covering them up. The mainstream media has to be said. The evidence, they're just a mouthpiece for the liberals and Obama administration. And it's the way it is. Until that changes, I'm not sure we're going to get much traction on getting these people held to accountability. So you're in the right spot. You're on the right side of the fence. Okay? They're coming for your guns. Liberals in U.S. Senate and Obama pushed to severely restrict your ability and your rights to own guns. They vote on restricting the clip size. You know, the big magazines, 46 to 54. Uno poquito. Just a little bit. It failed by just uno poquito. Not much. They're taking away your Second Amendment rights. They vote on banning guns like AR-15s. Failed 40 to 60. At least the people that were from the rural states, the Democrats, broke and voted with the Republicans, said, yeah, we can't do that. That's just blatant. Obama called it a pretty shameful day in Washington. A shameful day that you're allowed to keep your weapons. The gun lobby said the gun lobby lied about the bill. Oh, that's a new concept to those people up there, especially the Democrats. They lie about something. I'm keeping my health care, and it's going to cost me less, it's going to cover more people, and I'm going to be real happy with it. Yeah, and it's not a tax. Remember, it's not a tax. That's not a lie. He called all senators who voted against the gun bills and restricting the guns simply cowardly. Cowardly. The same guy that won't answer questions about where he was in Benghazi and all the other stuff. These senators are somehow cowards. It's basically either do as I, King Obama the first, say, or else. Kind of what it boils down to. The mainstream lapdog media falls right behind him, carrying the message. Us bitter clingers are going to take the or else. Okay? We're not going to sit there and be intimidated by this kind of stuff. Okay? We'll take the or else, and you can have your socialism. That's what our message is here. Okay, now this is great. This Democrat House Representative Diana DeGette from Colorado. She was the primary sponsor of a bill to limit the size of the magazines that you could put in your guns. You know the banana clips you put in your AR-15s and things like that? Here's what she said. I'm going to read this. I know you can read it, but I'm going to tell you. I will tell you that these are ammunition. This is an exact quote. I'm not running it on. This is how she talked. They're bullets. So the people who have them now, they're going to shoot them. And if they ban them in the future, the number of these high-capacity magazines, these clips, it's going to decrease dramatically over time because, hey, the bullets, they're going to be shot. There won't be any more available. Okay? She's obviously the Sherlock Holmes of this whole group up there, being the bright and Albert Einstein. She didn't know that magazines are just containers you put bullets in them. You shoot them, you put more bullets back in them. She's the primary sponsor to get rid of them, and she doesn't even know what they do. This is how they are. This is when you don't elect conservatives up there. This is what you get. And that is her quote. I can't make this up. This is comedy. This is absolute comedy. That's why you need conservatives. Desperately. The word is kind of spelled somewhere right. Desperately needed in Washington, and not only Washington, but Austin, just like we talked about. How's Obamacare doing? I thought I'd throw that in there. There's a 2.3 medical device tax. That was killed. Too many people didn't like it. Too many people went, whoa, I can't do this. They killed that tax. So that's money from Obamacare that was going to pay for it, no longer there. Unions across the country are pleading for exemptions from Obamacare. Can you say hypocrite? Hypocrites. They pushed it, they wanted it, now they're pleading exemptions. Cuts to Medicare Advantage program, which has helped fund Medicare, had 139 members formally objecting to the cuts. The same people, the same liberals who voted for it are now saying, oh, no, 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 no. Well, you push somebody off the bridge, it's too late to say, I guess I did wrong. Harry Reid, Democrats want themselves, their office people, and their staff to be exempt from Obamacare. They were trying to sneak it through a bill to be exempt. The Republicans up there, conservatives, caught it, put it out in the public, and they went, oh, no, 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 no. No, that's not what we really meant. Okay? Sitting there backpedaling. This is what they do. They try to do this. They pass it, they shove it down your throat, and they get exempt. This is when you don't send conservatives up to Washington and Austin. When we don't get active, we don't get involved, this is what happens. Private insurance plans in California. up to 140% increase in these private insurance programs in California, driven by the rules, the regulations, and the oppressiveness of Obamacare. Period. Does anyone not understand what drove that price up? Good. I thought so. You got to understand. Now, I hope the West Coast liberals watch the Duck Commander show, and I hope they're happy with what they got. Because them people voted for it, them people like it, and they're going to get what they got coming to them. Elections do matter. You got to work, you got to get the vote out, you got to be involved, or this is what we're going to get to. Here's Obamacare. This is your ambulance. Okay? In about 5-10 years, this ambulance is going to pull up. I'm not quite sure. You know, the George Bush missed me yet. They probably put that up there just to cover up a hole in the window. You know, they had the old sign up there. So anyway, that's what your ambulance is going to look like, the way Obamacare is going. I thought that was kind of cute. Obama got the flop. This was the sequestration and all that stuff. The budget sequestration was going to drive America into the dark ages. Obama said he was predicting the end of days for a small decrease in the amount of spending. 85% felt, oh, well, I got something to fear about this. Ooh, I know something's going to happen. Fear-mongering. 85%. Okay, the thing hit. The Republicans stood strong. The conservatives put a stick in their back, and they stood strong. They sit there. The result, about a week ago, 9% felt a great deal of impact on them. They're probably the people that travel in the airports that had to wait. Quite a bit was 7, some impact 17%. Total of 16 felt it was something to talk about, 17 a little, 67% felt nothing. Went from the end of days to basically nothing, a big flop. Obama cried wolf. Okay? Nothing like having your leader, your person in charge, don't pump you up, don't give you confidence, they tell you the world's coming to an end and then it doesn't. And a little boy that cried wolf, and he's mad that you didn't listen to him. Okay, there's hope. Senate races in 2014, 21 Democrat seats up for election. 7 are states that voted conservative this past election. 5 of the Democrats will retire and not run again. Big loss. You try to run an incumbent, you get a big advantage, you get a new guy. It's a big opportunity to take that seat. Republicans have 14 seats up. 1 seat is in Maine, semi-liberal, and 2 are retiring. You need to pick 6 seats to kick Harry Reid out of control of the Senate. When you control the Senate, you control what, like Strauss, in Texas House, you control what gets to be voted on and what does not. Harry Reid did not put a vote up for a budget, his only constitutional duty in the Senate, for over 3.5 years. He would not allow it to come to the floor of the Senate for an up or down vote. A budget, constitutional budget. Mainstream media can do all it can that can crush the conservative in 2014. You know it's coming, they're going to crush it. They're going to try to crush any conservatives, especially Tea Party type people. Texas House and some Senate primary races will be in 2014. We talk Washington, we talk Austin, not that much different. You need to be involved. You need to do something. Everybody can do something. Okay, you make a difference. Okay? Okay, we want to say thank you, Cindy. I and the board of directors want to thank you for all you do to help to support our group. You know, we don't say enough. We don't say thank you enough. You come here on your time. You help us out. We couldn't run the group without volunteers and the other things that you help us with. We couldn't do it without you. No, this group is for us, not just for Cindy and I help her and 1 or 2 people. This is your group. We're here for you. But we need your help, and we need for you to be involved. You help with donations. They cover, okay, we get money in the box. What do we do with it? We cover the booth fees. So it's $200 for the balloon race, that kind of stuff. It's like $20 or something like that for the 4th of July race. We hand out stick flags to stop people and talk to them. That stops them. We get some information out to them. That's all we're trying to do. We have printed literature, the stuff we hand out at the door and all that. We do our website. Speaker travel, the C-Scope lady was like, I think $300 by the time it was all over. Cindy thought it was worth it. We pay that because she thought that was worth it to get our children's education front and center. These are the kind of things it takes to put the group. We have other expenses. We appreciate everything you do for us. We would want your time and talents first, foremost. If you can help us out with a donation, that's good too. But please make a commitment to be involved in what we're going to do here. If you can help us support us and all that, that's great. Our guest speaker tonight is Mr. Lee Lester. I had to get to this because Cindy's giving me the evil eye. I haven't seen it in 3 months, but I'll tell you what, she has the evil eye. okay? She's squinting at me and she says, you're 3 minutes over your time frame. So, Mr. Lester's going to talk about food stores and things like that. I want to make it clear, we are not people that go, the world's going to end, we're going to have armed revolution, tomorrow the world's going to stop, we're going to have the AK-47s all over the place, and you got to have food to survive. There are things that happen. The distribution system, all you need to say in Houston is a hurricane is 4 days away. Walmart empties that quick. Food stores empty that quick. Gasoline is gone that quick. You don't have anything. If there's ever any kind of large-scale disaster, hurricane, an earthquake, anything like that, the electric grid goes down and will